As part of its social responsibility initiatives and to further promote good governance practices world over, Cambridge International Financial Advisory is spearheading a global initiative to promote best practices in governance and sustainability. Global Good Governance Award, known as 3G Awards, are committed to promoting good governance in government, politics, corporate sector, and social sector, and philanthropy. 3G Award reflects a true celebration of transparency, corporate responsibility, and social justice. The 3G Awards Committee deserves all the praise for their commitment to making the world a fairer place. Good governance has risen significantly, and it will determine who and which are significant and champions for doing good governance in each matter. One that has been awarded in 3 continuous years since 2017 to 2019, Her Excellency Sausan Al-Fahom Jafar. She is a founding board member and a chairman of the board of directors of Friends of Cancer Patients, a leading cancer charity in United Arab Emirates. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You are back on Sharia Economic Talk with Gunawan Yasni. In this episode, we will discuss about Global Good Governance Awards, or known as 3G Awards. Joining us now, the chairman of Cambridge International Financial Advisory, His Excellency Brother Humayun Dar, and chairman of the board of directors, Friends of Cancer Patients, United Arab Emirates, Her Excellency Mrs. Sausan Jafar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Brother Dr. Dar, and Your Excellency Mrs. Sausan Jafar. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Alaikum salam wa rahmah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I'm very well, thank you very much for inviting both of us.
All right, glad to have you both.
Mr. Gunawan Yasni, for inviting me to participate in this program.
Wow. Now, I should thank you both. I mean, it's been very wonderful that you both are so committed to be the resource persons for the Sharia Economic Talk with me, Gunawan Yasni. So, I will go first to Brother Dr. Humayun Dar. Dr. Humayun Dar, please tell us what exactly is the 3G Awards, brother.
Thank you very much, Brother Gunawan, for inviting me again to Metro TV and Sharia Economic Talk with you. Okay. Global Good Governance Awards, we started them in 2016 around the United Nations Humanitarian Forum, which was held in 2016 in Istanbul. And the Stakeholders Committee decided to start the Global Good Governance Awards, or 3G Awards, on that occasion to show our commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals.
Okay.
3G Awards are based on 5 variables or 5 factors. Right. The first one is transparency. The second one is social responsibility. The third one is sustainability. We assess the nominations of the individuals, organizations, and institutions based on these 3 criteria against their impact and innovation. These nominations come from 3 sectors: government and politics, corporate sector, and social sector and philanthropy.
All right.
We also take into account some national criteria for good governance. For example, in case of Indonesia, the good governance framework as developed by the government is taken into account, and its applications to the corporate sectors are also in consideration. In case of other organizations coming from ASEAN, we also take into account the ASEAN corporate good governance framework as well.
Okay. So, brother, what is its significance in developing good governance conduct for the world? I mean, the whole world, this 3G awards, brother.
I think the 3G awards and the emphasis on governance should be considered in the light of evolving view on economic development. In the 1960s and 70s, the economic development meant an exclusive emphasis on growth. However, with the passage of time, that growth aspect has been complemented with a number of things. Income inequalities or inequalities of any nature, they must be taken into account when deciding whether a country is progressing or not. Gender diversity, for example, which is another very important aspect of this new emphasis on governance, or this new emphasis on sustainable development goals as developed and propounded by the United Nations Development Program and accepted and implemented by the multilateral institutions like World Bank, IMF, Asian Development Bank, and of course Islamic Development Bank is a great champion of sustainable development goals as well. So for any organization, whether this is based in California or in Jakarta, it must show its commitment to this wider notion of economic and social development. And this is the future of running businesses in the private sector. This must be an emphasis in the social sector and philanthropy. And of course, without government's commitment, this is meaningless.
Wow, very well said, Brother Humayundar. So I will go next to Your Excellency, Mrs. Sausan Jafar. So let us start with your organization. Our viewers would like to know more about the organization and what is its aim. Your Excellency.
Friends of Cancer Patients was founded in 1999 by the initiative of Her Highness Sheikha Jawahir bint Muhammad Al Qasimi, wife of His Highness the Ruler of Sharjah. The aim was to promote health education and cancer awareness in the UAE and provide patients and their families with care and support. As cancer incidence was rising in our part of the world, and due to the social stigma or taboo even that was and still is to a certain degree associated with cancer, there was lack of knowledge and even denial of this fact of life. So we started tackling that by organizing health education and awareness campaigns of the most common cancers, in addition to providing support to needy cancer patients.
3G awards, they actually refer to SDGs, and indirectly there is a relevance of maqasid Sharia or the higher objectives of Sharia as well.
I also welcome our extended family of caregivers, survivors, and patients. You are the heroes who continue to inspire us in everything we do. We are gathered here today in large numbers to fight a disease that can change lives in dramatic ways. Thank you all for supporting the fight against cancer, and let's relay for life.
You're still on Sharia Economic Talk, of course, with me, Gunawan Yasni. Let us continue our discussion with Dr. Dar and Her Excellency, Mrs. Sausan Jafar. I will go to Your Excellency, Mrs. Sausan Jafar. How is Friends of Cancer Patients catering to the welfare of patients, Your Excellency?
FOCP provides moral, psychological support and treatment to needy cancer patients and their families. Our team diligently follows up on our patients throughout their treatment. In addition to that, we carry out moral support and recreational programs such as Color My World for women patients, the Joy Card for children. We also organize lectures, talks, discussion groups where patients and their families participate and interact. Of course, during the challenging COVID-19 pandemic, all these programs continued virtually, and we were impressed and in fact pleasantly surprised with the continued enthusiastic participation of our patient community remotely.
Okay, please enlighten us more with your current ongoing projects and of course successful ventures over the years, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Okay, currently, and in addition to the patient support program, we continue to be very active with cancer awareness and screening initiatives. For breast cancer, which is the most common cancer among women, we have the Pink Caravan campaign, which also operates a mobile clinic which roams around the UAE, providing free screening and training for women of all ages. The clinic has screened over 80,000 women across the UAE since its launch in 2013. A second campaign in Shanab is Shanab. Shanab is the meaning of Shanab is mustache in Arabic, and this is our campaign for male cancers. And also we have Kick Cancer. And this is also another male cancer initiative where we teamed up with football and sports clubs to help spread awareness and education and stress the importance to young men and men of all ages to stress the importance of screening and early detection of male cancers. For childhood cancer, FOCP has a campaign, Anna, which this campaign focuses on childhood cancers, and it launched an innovation campaign, which is an annual competition. We try to involve schools, we try to involve children from different walks of life, and so what we did is we started this campaign as an annual competition involving schools where children are involved in inventing simple devices that help in detecting early signs of childhood cancer. And this initiative helped to educate children, teachers, and parents at the same time. Another successful initiative that we have is Relay for Life. Relay for Life, it's an annual 24-hour walkathon held in partnership with the American Cancer Society, which aims at bringing the whole community together in support of cancer patients. And even during 2020 and during the lockdown, the Relay for Life became a virtual relay, and people started walking and recording steps on their phones, and they connected, they would register and they would connect, and we actually reached, the relay of 2020 reached 15 million steps.
Wow.
This is just the UAE.
Yes, just for the UAE, and it's been so helping then. All right, I will ask my brother, Dr. Dar, how are the 3G awards connected to Sharia principles? Or what role does Sharia principles play in these awards, brother? Because we are talking about Sharia economic talk. Please, enlighten us.
Right. Once again, thank you very much. Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, by the United Nations and adopted by almost everyone in the world. They are very consistent with the higher objectives of Sharia. When we look at the classification of the higher objectives of Sharia, according to Imam Shatibi, this is based on 5 pillars: protection and preservation of faith, life,
Yes.
wealth, intellect, and posterity or self-esteem.
Yes. Yes.
These 5 principles of Sharia have been expounded by the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So from this viewpoint, there is no inconsistency between the higher objectives of Sharia and SDGs. Actually, SDGs, they take the higher objectives of Sharia to a higher level. What SDGs have done to the Sharia view on different aspects of life is that it has made it universal. The SDGs are acceptable to everyone in the world. And I must say that in this respect, Islamic Development Bank, based in Jeddah, is doing a wonderful job. It is an official agenda of Islamic Development Bank to promote and champion SDGs. So 3G awards, they actually refer to SDGs, and indirectly there is a relevance of maqasid Sharia or the higher objectives of Sharia as well.
We believe in the importance of collaboration and in aligning efforts and expertise to help achieve our goals for a more effective, cancer-friendly environment.
Since its debut, over 150 awards have been presented to some exceptional individuals and institutions drawn from more than 25 countries in different continents. These include public sector, individuals and organizations, businesses from the airlines industry, tourism, financial services, manufacturing, education, and energy and social sector organizations serving different causes in health, women empowerment, and children welfare. The inaugural 3G Awards ceremony was held in the historical city of Istanbul, Turkey in 2016. In the following year, the vibrant city of Dubai became host to the second 3G Awards ceremony, followed by Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Jakarta, Indonesia. The 5th 3G Awards ceremony was expected to take place in Bali, Indonesia in April 2020. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the physical ceremony was cancelled, and instead an online awards ceremony took place that was attended by thousands of people from around the world. You're still on Sharia Economic Talk, of course with me, Gunawan Yasni. We are still talking about Global Good Governance Awards with Dr. Dar, and also not just one time, but 3 times a winner of 3G Awards, Her Excellency Mrs. Sausan Jafar. She is the chairman of the Board of Directors, Friends of Cancer Patients, United Arab Emirates. So, Mrs. Sausan Jafar, how can the global community assist or evolve to be more cancer-friendly? Please enlighten us, Your Excellency.
Great question. From the outset, FOCP sought to partner with local, regional, and international organizations involved in healthcare and disease control, such as the Gulf Federation for Cancer Control, the Union International for Cancer Control, Childhood Cancer International, and the Non-Communicable Disease Alliance. We have also worked closely with the UN organizations and the WHO. We believe in the importance of collaboration and in aligning efforts and expertise to help achieve our goals for a more effective, cancer-friendly environment.
Okay. So I will go to Dr. Dar. So Dr. Dar, how many individuals and institutions have been given 3G awards so far?
Right. As I said, we started in 2016 in Istanbul, and from there we went to Dubai, where we held our 2017 award ceremony. And the next year, in 2018, we went to Kuala Lumpur, and 2019, we held our 4th award ceremony in Jakarta. And last year, because of the pandemic, we held our award ceremony virtually. In these 5 award ceremonies, we have given awards to about 200 organizations. So every year, about 35 institutions are given the awards. And these institutions, they come from, as I said earlier, in the government sector, from the social sector and philanthropy, and of course from the corporate sector. One example of social sector and philanthropy is Friends of Cancer Patients and Her Excellency Sultan Al Jafar. She is with us. Their organization received awards in 2017, in 2018, and 2019 for 3 consecutive years.
Wow.
The award of 3G Service Excellence Award for Social Sector and Philanthropy was given to Friends of Cancer Patients. This kind of organizations, we have tried to highlight their role in a national context on a global level. So this is part of our awareness campaign. And it happens to be the case that cancer has been one of the major focuses. So this is basically, the awards program is not just about awards, it is about creating awareness on a number of socio-economic and medical issues as well.
Wow. All right then. This is very prestigious, I guess, the 3G Awards. But what is your organization's strategy to ensure that 3G Awards are recognized as the most prestigious awards in governance amongst global leaders that recognize and follow Sharia principles, Brother Dar?
This is a very good question. The awards program anywhere in the world, their prestige comes from the participants. So if we have well-recognized award winners, this would add to the prestige of the program. Friends of Cancer Patients, it's another very well-known and respected brand in its own sector. It is supported by the royal family of Sharjah. And if this organization is given an award and its success is celebrated, this brings a lot of prestige and credibility to the awards program as well. Since we started the awards program, a number of governments, I must say that even the government of Indonesia, as I said, in 2018, we held the award ceremony in Jakarta, which was hosted by the government of Indonesia through Ministry of Tourism. Similarly, the president of Djibouti has been very supportive of 3G awards. In 2018, he sent his prime minister to be our chief guest in the award ceremony. And I think the real factor that has contributed to the prestige of awards program is our own commitment to sustainable development goals.
Yes.
And given the universal relevance of SDGs and the universal relevance of the issues covered by SDGs, Global Good Governance Awards have become truly global and truly globally respected awards program.
So at FOCP, we move beyond compliance to embracing good governance as an imperative and an enabler to help us do more and do it better.
You're still on Sharia Economic Talk, of course, with me, Gunawan Yasni. So I will go directly, firstly, to Her Excellency, Ms. Sausan Jafar. Your Excellency, how will being a recipient of the 3G Awards enable your organization to realize its goals and to do more in this field, Your Excellency?
This is a very important question. Good governance is a vital element for philanthropy to enhance impact through transparency, accountability, and ultimately credibility and trust. It all works together and leads, at the end, this is what leads to trust. So receiving the Global Good Governance Award for Social Philanthropy, once again, from the Cambridge International Financial Advisor, which is spearheading one of the most important global initiatives, is an honor and a recognition for Friends of Cancer Patients and a further vote of confidence in the organization's standard and adherence to strong governance.
All right. But in what ways your organization has achieved and maintained a high standards of governance practices, and what is the way forward, Your Excellency?
As I said at the beginning, at FOCP, we strive to maintain a high standard of governance at the top, with the board of directors, in having committed board members who share the organization's vision and values. We also regularly benchmark our impact against our goals and strive to continually learn from our experiences and find ways to generate multiplier effects on impact. Governance is ultimately something that must be embedded in an organization's culture. It should be in the DNA. So at FOCP, we move beyond compliance to embracing good governance as an imperative and an enabler to help us do more and do it better.
All right, very well said. Okay, then I will go to my brother, Dr. Humayun Dar. What is the global standing of the 3G Awards, brother?
3G Awards, right from the beginning, have received huge appreciation. When we started this in 2016, the award ceremony was held around United Nations Humanitarian Forum. And given that our emphasis is on SDGs, which is a brainchild of United Nations, and from here it has gone to the World Bank, IMF, Asian Development Bank, African Development Bank, and all the multilateral institutions, they are fully committed. So when we show our commitment to SDGs and we try to promote these SDGs, we find ourselves standing in the league of all these multilateral institutions and the governments which have been promoting the SDGs agenda in their respective jurisdictions. Right, you know that I'm a great fan of Indonesia. You don't realize that you are sitting on a gold mine when it comes to social sector and philanthropy.
You're still on Sharia Economic Talk, of course, with me, Gunawan Yasni. Still with Dr. Humayun Dar and Your Excellency, Mrs. Sausan Jafar. So I will go to Dr. Dar first. How can the 3G Awards enable Indonesia to be well known globally, Dr. Dar?
Right, you know that I'm a great fan of Indonesia. You don't realize that you are sitting on a gold mine when it comes to social sector and philanthropy. You know that there are there is a huge number of social sector organizations doing wonders. We at 3G, we would like to highlight this kind of practices to the wider world so that they start emulating these success stories in Indonesia. I can talk about these success stories for hours. Through this program, I would like to suggest something. I would like to suggest to the government of His Excellency Joko Widodo to set up a center of excellence for social sector and philanthropy in Indonesia. And this should follow the model of Dubai International Financial Center. Of course, Dubai International Financial Center is a financial center.
Yes.
There is no center of excellence anywhere in the world focusing on social sector and philanthropy. And given that you have already done wonders in social sector and philanthropy, my suggestion would be to come up with a global center of excellence for social sector and philanthropy. And there is no other country in the world other than Indonesia to host this global center.
All right. Oh, wow. Social center and philanthropy in Indonesia. I think that's a very good advice to our government, yeah, Brother Dr. Dar. So, my next question, still to my brother Dr. Dar, this is a very subjective question, I guess. Is the program like this one, I mean, the Sharia Economic Talk with me, eligible to receive the 3G awards, brother? Just out of my curiosity.
Right. The awards, they are decided by a stakeholders committee. And we invite the nominations from all those organizations which are playing a role relevant to good governance. My own personal understanding is that Sharia Economic Talk is an excellent program which is creating awareness around transparency, around social responsibility, around sustainability, and of course in terms of impact and innovation, Sharia Economic Talk has played a wonderful role, a role which is consistent with the vision of the President of Indonesia, His Excellency Joko Widodo, and the Vice President Amin Maruf. I seriously believe that this kind of programs must be honored and celebrated at the 3G award ceremonies. So I would like to encourage you and others to nominate themselves for the forthcoming 3G awards. The ceremony is going to be held in May, either virtually or somewhere in the world.
Thank you very much, Brother Dr. Humayun Dar. So next, I will ask Your Excellency, Mrs. Safsan Jafar, by leading such an inspirational organization, what advice you would like to give to global community with regards to international health practices, good governance, and transparency, Your Excellency?
As an organization that supports a highly vulnerable group in the community, with, of course, cancer patients, so we have always strived to create and maintain a deeply compassionate organizational culture in line with our values that helps us build trust in the community and fulfill the charity's vision. Now, since inception, we have worked with renowned external auditors, in addition to internal government auditors. And of course, this is very important, I think, for any charity, for any, as we talked about transparency and then of course reporting periodically to donors and to sponsors is also a vital practice to maintain and build credibility through transparency.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, both of you. That was my discussion. Then I must conclude. There is a saying from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Tahaddu tahabbu." He was encouraging us to be more giving in order to be more loving. So these 3G awards are given to those who are so giving, who are so loving in doing what they love to do. And it is in accordance to Sharia, transparency, corporate and social responsibility, and of course, sustainability of humankind. That was my discussion with Dr. Dar and Your Excellency, Mrs. Sausan Jafar. Hopefully, it was insightful and informative to spur Indonesia's spirit in becoming the beacon for the world's Sharia economics and finance in the future. Hope you look forward to our next episode of Sharia Economic Talk, of course with me, Gunawan Yasni, with prominent guests from Indonesia and abroad. I, Gunawan Yasni, and the entire crew would like to say thank you for your attention. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So thank you very much, Brother Dr. Humayun Dar and Your Excellency, Mrs. Sausan Jafar.
Metro TV